Two federal vehicles in a row. Two federal vehicles in a row. The dog walker, the watcher, the female, she was out here the whole time trying to get in the mix with their dog. I don't think that was her actually. But you see how they're erasing it? Through the water system. Just like these days, sprinklers are connected to Wi-Fi. And so is plumbing. And how I can prove that is one way only. What was found in my very doorbell ringer that stated gears to the plumbing. I love plumbing involved. And look at that Ford vehicle. Another federal vehicle involved in the crime. As it passes by. 3 federal vehicles in a row. Three federal vehicles in a row. And that is what's happening. This guy's gonna be erasing that call that was made today. Or the evidence of it. But he can't stop the rain. Because you know that one call was made. And they try to kill me in the hospital, these people. But it's not gonna work out. Because the only one way you can prove I'm right is this found in the gear shift in the FCC's involvement. And this chip is the only remedy of their demise. And this is their demise now. And there goes another vehicle. And you see as they turn the camera back around on me. And that was that suspect right there in apartment 206 that did that. See that suspect? That suspect. I took a couple screenshots of it. And to prove I'm right. So I'm gonna take a couple screens. This is all you need to know of FBI's involvement. Are these 2 pictures seals the deal with FBI's life sentence involved in a crime of a cyber terrorist attack on the United States White House planned out for over 15 years. And how I can prove this over 15-year plan. By these suspects of terrorist activities. These suspects of terrorist activities not only wanted to blow up the White House, but were actually caught loading explosives into a white van in a 911 call made, but no bomb squad ever came out. And that proves the very involvement of security. These are the suspects taking off. After committing a crime against the United States White House, the suspects are leaving. And now they're due for a life sentence in prison because I'm going to be filing charges on them and Discrimination Act paperwork to make sure they go to prison for the rest of their lives. That's what I'm going to guarantee them, because not only did they partake in my 4-year facilitated torture by a hate crime, but while protected by the most powerful, one of the most powerful acts in the world, and that's the Patriot Act. And that's where they're gonna fall. And as you can see, 15 years of a planned attack, as this tile right here in this granite proves that 15 years. And if you look at the cameras coming out of that granite, from lights coming into out of that granite, what you see right there, is when you're gonna know that they're going to jail for life. And they will never get out of jail again once they're booked into custody. And as you can see, the lights shine out. And I will take screenshots to back it up. High resolution camera. And there's no flaw in this camera shots. And these shots will be sent all over the world today to let them know of what these suspects have done. And these suspects will not be shown mercy for an attack on the White House and our presidency, our successor, Donald Trump. Even though they tried killing me for it, they must do life in prison now for this crime. They must do life in prison for being traitors, for betrayal to the United States, especially after 9/11 was yesterday, which was the biggest hit on terrorism ever. And them to disrespect and not only hide a call, made to the United States Secret Service but impersonated. And that's a life sentence crime for the man that impersonated today, and he knew that when he said, great. He knew he was screwed for the rest of his life, because now he has to go to jail for the rest of his life. Over that one phone call, he ruined his whole, complete, entire life. And nobody's going to show a man like that mercy, because he put innocent children in harm. He put innocent women and men in harm. And he put our United States of America in harm, to be taken over by our allies, Russia, North Korea, or Iran, the very ones that these people accepted money from, with me having all the proof. But not before. 10 companies. 10 companies. I want you to think about this. Major United States companies involved, highly involved. Do you hear that? And that's going to be a fire truck 293 to erase the evidence of this. Again, as 293 participated in major crimes. And we're going to show you what kind of major crimes they did. And this is going to be their last shot. But their demise in my country of America. Boom. Shots fired. 9/12. The final chapter. Shots fired. Now you will have the truth and why that sanitation truck came out today. And this is the truth, the real life truth of what's going on and what really happened on 9/11. As you will see, the ending of their chapter. You hear that noise outside? That's for communications to disturb this video, just to let you know, okay? Now, do you notice how it says 3 minutes and 12 seconds? Right there? But then it only says 20 seconds there. Think about why it says that. And then think about why it says 8 minutes here and 0 over there. Well, it's because it was manipulated by the very sanitation truck and other infiltrations. Now, why isn't it working, the video? But these are the serial numbers that contain that recording. But you know what I have to do? It's just this. As we're going to go up. There you go.
You have reached the United States Secret Service, Seattle Field Office. At this time, our office is closed. When you hear the tone, leave your name, number, and a message, and we will return your call at our earliest convenience. If your call requires immediate attention, please press 0 at any time, and your call will be transferred to the regional call center. Thank you for calling and have a wonderful day.
Do you see that camera light coming
The
out?
person for whom you wish to leave a message does
Or the
not
track?
have enough available space in his or her mailbox. We are unable to take your message at this time. To disconnect, press 1. To enter another number, press 2. Please hold for Spokane Row.
Secret Service.
You have two different messages on your phone number, and it comes up to a name named Seth. Do you know? Is that proper for a Secret Service?
No, it's not proper. That's your answer right there. No, it's not proper. It's supposed to say Secret
Sorry,
Service.
what did you get now, you?
Okay. Use the Secret
He's playing stupid. Don't listen to him.
Okay.
It's called playing stupid. You notice the cameras on the screen,
2017.
which are illegal, and that's illegal surveillance?
Sent to HTTP.
Hold on, I'll clean and show you.
//whitehouse.gov. FBI and LAPD were involved in it. Not only millions of people involved in a cyber terrorist attack, but planning an attack in the United States White House.
Listen to what he says.
They had my mother and brother commit medical fraud on me. What they did was they put a false mental health history for saying that I imagined that police put a Part 15
See the camera coming in and out of the screen right there?
unlicensed transmitter in my home, but I have it notarized, documented, and all over the internet on pictures. There's 15,000 pictures of undeniable evidence of crimes, not only impersonation of a Secret Service agent, but coming out on my probation report and them drugging me and getting me arrested for them drugging me. I'm a victim of a crime called organized gang stalking. It's a federal crime. Not only does a federal crime include computer hacking and phone hacking, but it states framing, threats, blackmail, bribes. I've been through a 4-year facilitated torture. I've been poisoned every day. I found CFR Part 16 codes in my mattress. They've been shocking me for 4.5 weeks straight. 4.5 weeks. Okay? And I'm a victim of a hate crime too. I've been through 7 attempted murders now. I've been
Listen
ran
to his
off the
deep
freeway.
breathing.
Excuse me, I've been ran off the freeway.
He deep breathes for a
I've been
reason.
nearly killed at a hospital. They suffocated me, broke both my ankles, and laid me on a metal slab on my last breath.
Well, this is something that you really have to talk to your local police about.
Are you serious?
I don't think so. It's a good thing I recorded this call because I'm going to put it on social media. Because I'm not stupid.
Great.
Did you hear how he said great? Did you hear it? He knows he's in trouble. And it's common sense. He's in big trouble.
I'm going to give you a phone number.
He's not a Secret Service agent. I want to stop the recording for a second so I can tell you who he is. I know who this guy is.
Funding terrorism, and I have not only
This guy is picking up a Washington, D.C. line. But the only problem with it, he's a Los Angeles PD, duty desk officer. And that's where he messed up. And if he's not a Los Angeles one, he's a New York one. Because those are the only ones that pick up during normal, unnormal working hours. Which is the time he picked up was unnormal working hours. Now look into the speaker of this phone on top of the Samsung. Go ahead and take a good look. Did you hear my phone click? It's because it's communicating with the one I'm video recording with. Just to let you know that too. You see the blurs. Do you know what blurs mean? Blurs mean cameras. Now go ahead and look at the top. Do you see the camera lights coming out? They're coming out of granite, people. Look, close the light for me. It's better this way. Now you see, if you slant it to this way, you can actually see physically lights coming out of granite. Which is not only nearly impossible to happen, but they blur the same way you just saw the other photos blur. So we'll take a couple screenshots to prove it. Very good. And then we'll focus a little harder. And then we'll take another couple of screenshots. And then we'll get it smaller. And you notice they seem to look like the Target sign of Target store, who's also involved in funding terrorism. And now you're going to hear a plane or a helicopter that comes to knock the phone off the settings. And it always does it. On all my videos, you'll see that happening as soon as I put major evidence on. A helicopter, LAPD, or plane, private, comes and flies by. Unfortunately, that was a helicopter and LAPD involved in my 7 attempted murders. But just proving their guilt even more, which is even better for us. So next I'm predicting either a fire truck 293 comes to erase the evidence with ambulances, or LAPD comes to do some kind of false raid, or somebody they call to manipulate the situation. And that's what they do. Because they're dead bang guilty, and they have no way out. And like yesterday's attempted kidnapping, I proved that in fact 100%. And I continue to prove these things every day. But nobody wants to get involved because their lives are threatened by terrorists at the end of the day. And those terrorists are the very Illuminati themselves. And that's why they're going to be caught and then face RICO charges and terrorist crimes. They're going to lose their money. They're going to lose their ass. And they're going to be in jail. Because no matter what, U.S. law is U.S. law. And if I file the proper paperwork, they're going to find themselves in a proper jail cell. And that's all there is to it. And I'm making sure to do all that. But right now, I'm reading the manipulation in all areas. From the bottom to the top, I'm cleaning house. And that's my goal and my job. And I like my job. Even though I'm tortured, I like doing my job because I don't want the next person to have to go through what I go through and let FBI out of 11,000 Wilshire commit a hate crime against me, but not let me in a public building where everybody gets a chance to go report a hate crime except Mark Shallot. because I'm a victim of their crime. Now what we're going to do, we're not going to say nothing, but we're going to report a hate crime. Not only am I going to show you when I dial an FBI phone number that under the caller ID, as it's supposed to say FBI, it won't show that. It's because the FCC relays the call to their Washington, D.C. office because of their negligence in planting an unlicensed FCC device, which is another life sentence for them, and proves them involved in terrorism because they partaked in a crime against the White House and a cover-up. This is bigger than the Watergate scandal, people. 10 times bigger than the Watergate scandal. As you can actually see a physical camera here, and where they made one mistake and they did a sloppy job on this one little part that I've noticed. This one part here is their biggest mistake of all, because I caught it. People don't know what to do right now. They're like, oh my God, he's messing us up. What are we going to do? Now, we're going to go to the other bathroom, because there are more obvious ones over there. So I'm going to show you some more obvious of the obviouses. I'm going to take you a trip into my world today, Mark Shallot's life. It's the most craziest life there is in the world. To live like me is to live like a slave. Live like a slave and have your very people, the one you pledged allegiance to, and protected the country. Brent, do you hear my mom? Did you hear her? Oh, okay, I thought she was talking to me. She yells at me every time I put evidence up because she got paid by FBI. So it's not my fault. It's her fault. But I get yelled at and I get falsely arrested because of her taking money that she shouldn't have took. Now look over here. This is the most obvious one. I'm going to actually wipe it off for you, because I want you to actually physically look at this thing. Right? You see it there, how big that one is? That's the gold. And that's the winner. The one that's where my finger's pointing at, and I want a picture of it. Because it's the most obvious one, and it's made too big. And it's made, now a little square, green square came on where I was pointing, which never does. And look where my finger's pointing. I want to make sure you have it right there. There we go. And now we're going to get the one I'm talking about. Because it's obvious, and it'll only come back up. There it is. We're going to get a slant to it. Right there. It's big, isn't it? You see that big circle? How big? It's like a diamond. Let me get something better. Hold on. There you go. And now is the final outcome. Boom. Shots fired. I just hope I find. There it goes. It comes in and out. Boom. Wait, let's get a slant going on. Because that might not be it. There it goes. Did you hear that big noise? That's because of me. Recording. They don't like that. I can't find it now. See that? There it goes. There it goes. That's the obvious one right there. This is a booner right here. There's two of them. There's one here and one up here. They're big ones. That's the one. That's the one I've been talking about. That one was made too big. You see the perfect circle? I'm going to show you all 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. A perfect circle. It's not only a perfect circle, but a perfect, exact circle. As you can see the line, and follow my fingers. And you can see it going perfectly straight. It's a winner, in the fact. It's Perfect circle. Perfect. It's a perfect clockwise circle. There's no misconceptions about this circle. So we're going to do a 4-point stance. We're going to do 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12 o'clock. I want it to be perfect for my book. So that's 1, it's 3. Now we want to make sure we don't want to ruin it. So we're going to do it exactly at the points that it's supposed to be done. And that's 2. I messed up. Hold on. There we go. That's it. That's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Then we go 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Then we're going to go 12 o'clock. To show the perfect circle out of all things. So you see the perfect circle, how it is? It's not only perfect to the T, but perfect to the bone. And that's what I'm saying. You must be smart. If you're not, they're going to outsmart you. And that could be a huge issue. Because remember, life is precious. And you got to be careful every step you make in this life. Because tomorrow's never promised. And neither was today. But I can tell you one thing. I do it for us, we the people. That way the next man can get what he needs to get out of this country. And that's his respect, his rules, his boundaries, his privacy. And without that, we don't have nothing, and we're just slaves within ourselves. For a country that we protected, but they never protected us, but only exposed us and our children. And that's what they're doing now, and that's why I'm in this, because I'm going to stop it. Like I said, to the death of me. I'm all in. And I got 4 aces and 1 jack. So I can't see myself really losing in a fact like that. Can you see me losing? Only if our system is that corrupt. Yes, it is actually. Because it would have been done a long time ago if it wasn't so corrupt. But it just, to see these people up there with the flags and the 9/11 yesterday bullshitting their asses off. 9/11 peace, this, that. Not only on the Instagram account, where I've not only put so much evidence of a crime partaken to the White House that not one person mentioned anything except something bad about me for being patriotic. But then yesterday, the whole world's patriotic. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking ain't shit, motherfucker. You're a fucking liar, and take that badge off your fucking chest. Because it don't mean shit. Go back to that quarter machine and get a refund. Put that plastic badge away. Or that patch from the army that you have. Because you're not your own man. And you don't work for America, you work for a slave. You're a slave. You work for a slave master. And you're his bitch. And that's it. And we all know that already though. Because I made it perfectly clear. Now I want you to look here. It's another winner. Now, if you look close enough, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's right here. It's directly in the middle, so you can see it. It's a clear, 100% perfect circle. Do you see it? It's like a little heart on my chest. See it? But you see within the heart, look at the left bump. The right bump. You know something about that right bump? How it's perfectly circular? Let me tilt it to the side because they can do tricks with the camera, trust me. And there she blows. Now, white lights don't shine out. Blurs are indications of cameras, especially when they're perfectly like target signs. When you go in the distance. I'm going to let it fall back in the distance. Now, boom. Look at that. Look at that. Look at there. Here we go. Can you see the target signs? And the camera's going around the square in a C shape. Do you see all those cameras? Those are all cameras. Very sharp. Very articulated. very perfectly blurry at times. You see that? Yeah. 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 Um, it can be kind of hard. Probably through the front and shit. Um, I know. Well, no, look. I could probably get you into the front. Just give me a minute because I got this one up and Andy. Just give me a second and I'll try to pull it off. Would you guys be able to front me a little? Do you think? Just look. Just give me a second, all right? All right. Tesla. That's Tesla. Involved in funding terrorism. In a major way. In a major way. Is that a camera I see in there? I think so. Yes, it is. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rock, around 5 to 9. Only problem is, you see, those things, there's a grill. And grills, I took off the fins. See, but the grills, they don't come with secret compartments. with chips behind them, of course, as you can see. Except that one does. And so does the other one I have. You see? And then dummy chips on the bottom of it? Come on. You think anybody's gonna believe that for 2 seconds? Tesla, I'm talking to you. I think not. I think not. And I know not. But you got that shit full of cameras for some reason. And that's to protect the grills. Yeah, I know I'm right. You don't have to tell me I'm right. I already know. That's how I busted your ass in the first place.